Nollywood scholar and professor of English from the Long Island University, Jonathan Haynes, has described the Nigerian movie industry today as being more technical but less touching as compared to the movies made back in 1991 when he first visited the country. The recipient of a Guggenheim Fellowship and co-author of the book Cinema and Social Change in West Africa reflects on some of the movies from the early days of Nollywood when technicality was still a bit haphazard, as a period that produced many classic movies. He also pointed out that the industry at the moment has been more open to technology, and while technicalities have increased impressively, some of the content remains watered down.
The gods have plans for all of us.
These days I'm hearing a lot of people say that the old films had more soul or something than the new ones, than a lot of the new ones do. And I think that's true. When Nollywood first began, there was a lot of talk about how it wasn't on cinema, the technical quality wasn't good, and so on. But when you look at a lot of those films, not all of them certainly, but there are a lot of films made in the 90s that are true classics. And I think they do stand the test of time. But what's going on now is also, very interesting and hopeful. Obviously, the technical quality has gotten better. The technology has gotten better. There are people who have learned to use that technology. There's a new generation that's sophisticated technically, but also, in other ways. There are new resources as the multiplex cinemas have allowed for a better kind of movie to be made, a more expensive kind of movie. And now there are just all these new platforms on the internet and satellite television, and with the digitalization of terrestrial broadcasting, there's a tremendous, hunger for content and a lot of people who are ready to meet it. So it's always been a struggle to make films. Even in other places, people have to struggle to get established in the industry and to find money and so on. But, certainly in this country, it is and always has been a struggle. But if you have the luxury of standing back and looking at the industry now, there's really a lot to be hopeful about.
Runs around in a bulletproof catsuit. Why don't you ask him yourself? Because he's right outside.
Amidst the euphoria of the critically and commercially acclaimed Black Panther, some movie enthusiasts have been wondering when Nollywood might be able to create a big-budget movie with so much CGI and stunts. Haynes, however, believes that might not necessarily be the future for Nollywood. He opines that Nollywood's biggest attribute is its ability to mirror and express the Nigerian society.
I'm just getting started. Let's have some fun.
I love Black Panther. I'm not sure that's the future of Nollywood. Nollywood's strength has always been that it knew how to talk to a Nigerian audience and a broad Nigerian audience. So, Nollywood was always a complex phenomenon, but it's getting more complex, more differentiated, right? You have one kind of film that's being made in Asaba. You have another kind of film that shows at Film One, a film like The Wedding Party, that kind of very polished, accomplished blockbuster production is one thing that Nollywood's learned to do, and I have to say I find it very impressive. But there are many other things to be done as well, and there are openings for many different kinds of films. I don't want to say there's not going to be one future.